So, how do you improve your ear? Your ear, in musical terms, is something that they will say, musicians would say, he has a good ear. And it basically means that you're good at picking out specifics when you're listening. So, most people, especially people who don't play a lot of music or listen to a lot to music, they just hear the song as one kind of total thing. To give you an example of the difference, you know, the way when I look at a house, I just see a house, okay? I just see walls, a roof, and doors, da da da, right? Even if I saw the fanciest house in the world, like a beautiful house, I would still mainly just see a box with a roof on it. Now, if you're an architect and you look at a house, you analyze the house completely differently. You're looking at the size of the door maybe, or the structure and the kind of the way that the house sits within the site, things like that. I'm sure if there's any architects watching, they'd be able to tell me more as to what you would see. But you see more for sure. And I'm sure there's things that you guys specialize in. I know one of my students, John, works in business. So when he sees the full business, he sees more. He sees opportunities in it. He sees structure. He sees the systems, the way that I probably wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't, to be honest. So when you're improving your ear, you're asking your ear to hear more, okay? And in order to develop that ability, you have to listen more carefully, but also listen for specifics. Okay, so in jazz college, because I studied jazz singing, we actually did a whole class on clapping, right? Clapping along to music. Now, when you clap, you're clapping to a beat. It's like the drum beat in the background, and it's one steady beat that usually goes throughout the whole song at a steady pace. Okay, it's like boom, boom, like a heartbeat. So it's called a beat, it's like a heartbeat. And it's in the song in the background. Sometimes you'll hear a drum playing it. And sometimes it's less obvious, okay, that you won't hear an instrument playing that beat. For example, if I was to sing a song a cappella, that means without a backing instrument or without a backing track, there would still be a beat behind the song, but you're not hearing anybody tapping it out. So let's say, okay, so the one that came into my mind is a Cara Dillon song. Dear thoughts are in my mind, and my soul it soars enchanted, as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clear air of the day. Okay, should have warmed up before starting the class. Anyway, so where's the beat in that? There's no drum beat. If I tap or I clap the beat, you'll start to feel it. So, dear thoughts are in my mind, and my soul it soars enchanted, as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clear air of the day. So that was quite tricky, because when I did the beat, I realized, gosh, I'm singing words off the beat, I'm singing words on the beat. So there's probably easier songs to demonstrate the beat. Let me see. Kind of want to pick something that's a little bit upbeat, like, okay, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock, I'm gonna rock around the clock tonight, and when the clock strikes 1, we'll have some fun, and when da 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 da. Oh, I should have learned the words, so thanks for the love heart somebody put up there. So you can kind of feel the beat. So the beat is a steady pace. It's like a heartbeat. It doesn't jump around the place, okay? And it's a very important thing to listen for in a song. So even though I was singing without any backing, there was a beat there. You would still be able to clap along. And it's easier to clap along, obviously, with the faster song and with that rock and roll style song, because it's more obvious where the beat is. So sometimes if you're learning a song and you're not getting the rhythm or the feel of the song right, it's because you're not sensing the beat of the song. You're not feeling where that goes. So anyway, I prepared a song earlier. So let's have a little listen to this. This is Adele, Make You Feel My Love. And we're going to see if you can hear the beat. Now there's only a piano playing, and sorry if this is not loud enough, okay? I'll turn up a little bit more. So there's no drum. So you start to feel that beat in the background. Okay, so really important that you start to notice the beat in the song. So that's the first thing I want you to listen to develop your ear. So whatever song that you've decided that you might be learning. So I know a number of you picked a song on Monday from the song sheet that I put out, the easy songs to sing. So if you can go back now, don't join in, don't start singing along, just try and feel for that beat. Now when you feel that beat, it's like, I don't know, it's like having a teacher in the room with you, where you kind of feel like, oh, it's there, so I feel like I can do more, or I have someone I can ask a question to. It gives you a feeling of security, is what I'm trying to say. When you can feel the beat, you feel more secure about when you're coming in and when you're coming out of the song, okay? So we were talking there about learning and listening to a song and to develop your ear. So one of the tips that I feel can be really useful is to actually not sing along with the song, okay? To actually listen to the melody of the song without the words, okay? So that would mean, instead of going, when the rain is blowing in your face, you're going to go, Good. So you get the gist of what I'm saying, and I'm sure there's a few people now are a bit confused because I've left and come back on a different live video. My apologies, and my apologies to anyone who is how to use the beat to know when to come in. Yeah, okay, great, Lisa, thank you for that. Good. So we use the beat to help us to know when to come in. And then the next step would be to listen to the melody, but not necessarily join in by singing the words with the melody, okay? So you're going to hum along to the melody. And the great thing about the humming is, remember that in our warm-up class yesterday, we actually used humming as a warm-up. So when we hum, we're not stressing out the vocal folds, we're being quite gentle. It's very important not to hum loudly or to push when we're humming. But when you're improving your ear, you're just humming along to the song without the words, so that you can truly hear and feel by humming where that melody is going. So, so I can almost feel where the notes go lower, because when we sing and when we hum, the vibration of the notes vibrates at a different point depending on the pitch. Pitch just means how high or low it is, okay? So depending on how high or low it is, you'll feel it in different ways. So, I can feel that in my nose, my upper lip. Try it. That feels a bit high for you, don't worry. I haven't warmed up today yet either. So we're just humming right now, if anybody's just joined. We're humming the song Make You Feel My Love. So I'm feeling it here, right? Now, as I'm humming, I'm feeling in a slightly different position as I go along. So I can feel my tongue vibrating there. Back up a lip. And then in the I can feel my jaw vibrating. So by using the humming to learn the melody, you'll actually get a better, you'll hear the melody better, but you'll also feel where that melody sits. And it's very, very important. Most singers aren't just listening to the way that they sound, they're feeling the way that they sound. They can feel the vibration, and when we're singing, all of the bones of our face vibrate. And it's really important that if you want to have really good pitch and you want to stay really in tune really well, that you start to be aware a little bit of how sound feels. So when you are listening to the song you want to learn, number one, you're going to find that beat. Good. The second step is to hum through the song, feeling the vibration, noticing do the high and low notes have a different feel in your face. Generally, you'll be able to hum the melody even better than sing the words, especially on higher or lower notes. So when we hum it, we start to realize that we can reach those notes or we can't reach those notes. So you might decide after humming through the song, it's a little bit outside my comfort zone right now. Okay? So humming through the song. Now, as soon as you start adding in the words, it'll feel different when you sing it. Why? Because every word has a different shape and structure internally in the mouth. And when we speak, we have habitual ways of creating sound that may not be great for when we sing. Now, we're talking a lot more about this tomorrow because I'm going to talk about posture, the mouth position, your tongue, all the things that actually affect how you sound. And when we get to the high notes, especially, certain vowels like E and E will be harder to make them sound like you're in tune compared to ah, for instance. It's much easier to go ah than go suddenly you sound like you're joking. So we're going to talk about that. I have to kind of change the position of my mouth and change the way that I create that sound. So it's not an the way I'd say it. It's a special way of saying you know, so that when you sing it at a high level, it still sounds good. So I have to change the way I do it. And that's something we talk about a lot more tomorrow. So you're humming through the song. This is a listening exercise. Then as you're listening to the words and you're joining in with the words, when you get to that point, you start to feel how that sounds, to feel it in your face, and you start to make that effort then to learn it, okay? Very good. Making sense so far. Okay. Now, the next step with the melody, which is the song itself, is to even clap out the rhythm of the melody. So when you're humming through it, so there's like a beat there, so but it's not the beat. It's called a rhythm, okay? So on each syllable I'm clapping. Da, 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 da. Okay, now when you have done the beat already, then that rhythm and the beat, they have a way of connecting, okay, that feels satisfying. Now when you sing it without the correct rhythm, da, 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 like, you know, if you slow down and then suddenly speed up, like you get a bit confused or you panic on a certain note, and then it feels like, oh, I'm not in the song anymore, I'm a bit behind, or I feel like I don't know where I am. That happens because we are not singing with the correct rhythm, and you don't understand, or you haven't learned it well enough yet. So clapping out the rhythm. So see if you can kind of almost feel that. If you can in your mind think when the rain is blowing in your face, if you know it. Yeah, it'll take a little while. I mean, I told you, I did jazz singing there, and we had a whole class on clapping. A whole class, like an hour. So if you've never studied music, and you're wondering, why am I doing this? And this is a little bit hard. It's normal, okay? You just have to try it out and have a bit of fun with it and see what song you pick. So if you're doing, so Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, river. Yeah, just getting that bit, river, and to hear that beat there, that's going to make you sound like you know the song so much better when you get that rhythm, okay? So it's really important to start to feel the rhythms within the song. Feel that Almost Heaven, West Virginia, yeah? And start to actually to get that kind of internalized. So it's not something you have to think about much. It's kind of become something that you feel on the inside. And that's why, you know, really, really good musicians, it looks so effortless. They can, I mean, I know one drummer and he would be drumming away and looking around the room and obviously thinking to himself, and you're like, what? How does he do that? He's moving his feet, he's moving his hands. And this guy was a jazz drummer, so like, I mean, he knew what he was doing. But it becomes so much easier, but it takes that little bit of practice. So have a bit of fun with this. Now, the next thing to do is to take out, I'm so sorry, Judy, that you couldn't hear me. Oh, sorry about that. So now the next step will be to take any difficult sections and to listen to them 5 times in a row. So you know that bit where I went, Shenandoah River, Shenandoah River. So I might listen to that line 5 times just to get the feel of it right. And I suggest this in general, you know, that when you're starting to learn a song, don't try and sing the whole song each time. That's not going to help you really learn it. What's going to help you really learn it is if you take a section of the song. So if you take the first verse or the first 2 lines and just learn those, Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, and connect it in your mind. Almost Heaven, West Virginia, the next word's blue. So you kind of have the word blue in your mind. And if I say blue, 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 you're always going to remember Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains. If you hadn't already had that in your head, if you repeat that a few times, it'll start to go in. And it really makes such a difference when you know the words of a song, because then you can relax a little and you can just put your feeling into it. If I'm going, Almost Heaven, West Virginia, if I'm looking at on a page, I'm not communicating, I'm not, you know, connecting with the listener in the same way. So we need to learn the song really well. So don't rush through it. Try not to just sing along with the song, because I'm sure each of you has a favorite song. That you bet that you listen to certain songs in the car, or there's a song that you have on CD in the kitchen that you listen to every time you're making dinner. But do you know it? Do you know any of the words? You know some of them. Which ones do you not know? Have you ever tried to learn them? How much more fun would it be if you knew the words to that whole song? Then you could sing it out in the garden. Yeah? Just join the dots there. It's going to be more fun if you just learn them. So when you're cooking, chop, 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 chop. Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blues Mountain, Shenandoah River. Back. Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blues Mountain. Rewind. I don't recommend doing this in the car, because if you keep pressing the rewind button and take your eyes off the road, that won't be good for road safety. But I will admit that I have done that, and I have tried to learn songs that way. But it's far better to do it when you're, you know, somewhere safe. You know, maybe don't be chopping onions at the same time either too fast. Do it safely, okay, guys? So you're going to learn the song 1 line at a time, 1 verse at a time. And then think of the meaning of the words and anchors that will help you to memorize it. So Blue Ridge Mountains. So what I might do is look up on Google, Blue Ridge Mountains. And I'll get a photograph of the Blue Ridge Mountains and I'm like, ah, okay. Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains. Then when I start singing it for anyone, I can visualize the Blue Ridge Mountains and take them into that visualization with me. Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, I'm kind of thinking of them there in the distance, okay? So give yourself those visuals. Fill out your understanding of your song. Like the song Grace, as we gather in this chapel here in Old Kilmainham Jail. Now that song is about a woman called Grace that married, I think it was it Porrick Pierce? No, because I've never actually explained this to anyone. So it's a song, it's a recent song, it's about a historical event. So if you look up Grace and look up her husband, you know, who she married while he was still in jail, you know, the night before he was executed. When you fill in those gaps and you start to really understand the background of that song, the meaning of it, then you start to sing it with a different level of engagement inside yourself that really draws your listener in. So we people want to listen to the words of the song and hear something in them. So if I'm singing Blue Ridge Mountains, I need to know what they are. I need to know what they look like. I need to, if I've never seen them in a photograph, I need to imagine, like use my imagination. As we gather in this chapel here, think of a chapel. I'm in a chapel. It's in Old Kilmainham Jail. I mean, I've passed it on the road. I know where Kilmainham is. So I can connect to that more deeply if I think about the meaning and I think about that. And then, you know, when other people are listening, so this is kind of more for the listener when you're singing, they are going to be able to join into this scene that you're setting with the song, and the emotions behind it then become very easy to connect with. So use the visuals, use the story of the song to learn it. The first verse is about the chapel. The second verse is about his childhood, when he was friends with one of the other guys and he got sick and he dragged him out of the bed to go and, you know, save his country and all that. So that's from the song Grace, which you can look up. It's a beautiful song. Visualize the scene, and this is all in the tips list I'm going to have in the group as well. So the tricky sections, I have to tell you, you might need somebody to help you with, okay? When I have a student in front of me and they're having trouble with something, it's usually because they can't grasp the way that the melody is going. They think it's going up when it's actually going down, or they think it's moving down when it's actually staying in the same spot. And to actually show them that on a piano makes all the difference. So you might need someone to show you what the melody is doing on the piano. You might need someone like myself, or what you can do is a couple of different things. You can get a piano app, or if you have access to a piano at home, mess around until you figure it out. You can do that. Yes, you can. You know, it's actually not as hard as it seems. Find one of the notes, the first one. You'll find the okay, I have that one, yay. As we is that going up or down? I can feel it, it's going down. I can the vibrating go down. Then you go I go down by steps and I found and now I can see that gap. I can see what that they call interval is. Okay, so use the keyboard to find those melody notes that are a bit tricky, that you're finding it difficult to hear well, and that will help you to learn it really, really well. You can also, on YouTube, so if you don't have access to any of that and it feels a little bit too hard, go to YouTube and slow it down. So I did that actually with Adele's Make You Feel My Love, because there's sections of that she does some really, really, really nice things on that I wanted to really hear carefully. So if you go to the settings on my computer, it looks like the settings like that kind of, I don't know, what do they call it? Like a bolt or something? It looks like a little bolt. And you go to playback speed and you can pick 0.75, which makes it a quarter less quick. Now on your phone, you'll just pick the 3 little buttons at the top of the video and it will give you the option to change your playback speed. So that's it. We're almost done here. Thank you all for your patience and for coming back on the call after my problems with the sound. Last but not least, okay, we want to listen in order to learn well. One thing you can do is record yourself. Now, I'm not suggesting everybody that's watching record themselves, because sometimes you get really critical of yourself when you hear yourself recorded. So I want you to be really, really careful that you don't record yourself and then go, I should never sing again. Okay, please don't do that. If it feels like you're scared of recording yourself, then don't until another few weeks down the line maybe. But if you're brave enough to record yourself and listen back, you'll hear where you're going right and where you might not be going right. So that's a really powerful way to improve what you are doing. It's you're hearing it. So nobody else is saying to you, oh, that's wrong, or da, da, da. You can notice it. And it's very easy to improve. Okay, the one thing I have to tell everybody, singing is a skill and you can learn it. It takes a little while, but do it in a way that feels fun to you. Enjoy the process. Enjoy singing around the house. Whether you sing in front of me or you sing in front of other people, doesn't matter. I would love for everybody to feel like at least I can sing at home and I have my sound that I like, and you know that you can have a bit of fun. So it's learning to sing for fun and getting a little bit of those blocks, you know, those blocks from our childhood out of the way. We want to start to trust ourselves and to know that your voice is valuable. Your voice is valuable. Not everyone is going to value it. Okay, like for me, my sister who was listening to me harmonize everything on the radio, did she value it? No. So not everybody's going to want to hear you, but there's always someone who will, you know, and this is a perfect group for, you know, you to put up clips of yourself singing or anything like that.